Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force. Today is Monday, and I hope that you all had a very great weekend. It's been a stressful period of time here in the game, hasn't it? But today, we're going to be lightening things up a little bit, and we're not in October yet, but I do want to talk about some things that are going to be up and coming in October. So we're going to be talking about Undying, and we're going to be talking about the fourth zombie, the third zombie character, the fourth character for Undying that'll be around the bend around Halloween time. We're going to be taking a look at Zombie Juggernaut and when his release time was last year. We're also going to be talking a little bit more detail about the Undying team in general and what our new expectations might be for this zombie character, because we're kind of in a new period of Marvel Strike Force. And so whether or not this is going to be available to the player base free, that's something that I'm kind of skeptical about based on what we're seeing right now. But more of that in the video. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. So before we get into what I'm sure is what people are looking to hear from me, I want to talk about the history of the Undying team. I also want to take a look at the sort of the schedule that was around October time, so we kind of know what we're looking at. Now, this is October 2023 from last year, and this was they kind of like they followed into this patch 7.4 here with Tigra. It was kind of like a weird New Avengers kind of crossed over into two patches here. But we had Tigra at the end of September, and this is going to mirror basically Omega Sentinel. Now, it's going to be a separate patch, but I expect that Omega Sentinel is going to be towards the end of September because I'm recording this on Monday, the 9th of September. We're getting Nimrod on like Thursday, which means like another 7 to 10 days from there is going to be Omega Sentinel. And then we're jumping right into the Night Stalkers. I was about to say Dark Stalkers? Night Stalkers. Night Stalkers? Dark Stalkers? Anyways, the team, right? The Mystic Ray team. And so they're going to be replacing the Pegasus team, which is going to be here that you can see here for the three characters that came out during October. So they're essentially just replacing each other in the timeline. And then where Juggernaut Zombie is, we're going to have the next character. Now, it seems that we've basically moved entirely away from two-star characters. And both Juggernaut Zombie and Zombie Iron Man, just trying to scroll back to here, which was also released on the 26th of October, they were two-star unlock characters. It was not a very, it wasn't a super friendly event, but it still allowed you a way to get these characters unlocked completely free to play at two-star typically. I don't think in the first Juggernaut event. Now, he had a second event, which I forget when it was. Like, I want to say it was like February or March time when it came back around for Zombie Juggernaut, because I do have him at 5-star, but I never really invested in this. And so the second question would be, are they, given the new cadence of the characters and the game going forward, are they going to be available to us free to play or not? And I mean, I don't know for certain, but I think they might pay gate it. I mean, I think they might. I mean, that's just my thoughts, my current thoughts, because these were previously 2-star unlock characters. They have the epic tag, and I think the next one will do as well. Like, it almost makes sense. They're gonna vault it, right, for a year or 6 months at least, until, I mean, Juggernaut actually was only technically vaulted for 6 months. They brought back the event again, and that's why I have him at 5 yellow. I'm hoping that they make him farmable in, I don't know, some way, right? Coming, but he is a dark promotion character, credit character, and therefore I just don't have that to spare on him at this point in time. So I think that unless you're someone who's spending a lot of money, I wouldn't really invest in Undying anyways, because not only are they all, well, Zombie and Juggernaut are both, Iron Man and Juggernaut are both dark promotion credit characters, which means it's a little bit harder to get them upgraded. Iron Man wasn't really that big of a deal in terms of the red stars, but for Juggernaut, it kind of is. And so for this next character that we're going to be talking about, I have a feeling that it's going to be even more important, not only to have the stars, but also the red stars equivalent associated with those characters as well. So now I want to talk about what my current thoughts are. And now this one, I only have at about, I would say, a 15% chance. I don't think that this is actually who it is, but there have only been like 2 characters that I've heard rumors about over the last little while. And this is one that I thought about like quite a while ago, honestly, but I think that maybe the time's passed on Doctor Strange. There's 2 reasons. I think what you're seeing here, this is the what if. I don't know if this is season 1 or season 2. But they also had Doctor Strange, like kind of zombie in Multiverse of Madness. Was that the one he had this like 10 arms or whatever coming out of his body? And I don't know if that's supposed to be. I mean, this looks like it's. I don't know if it's supposed to be the same version, anyways. But there was multiple instances, right, where Doctor Strange kind of showed up in sort of some zombified form. Now, both What If and Multiverse of Madness has been a little bit of time. So how likely this is, I don't know. But if you look at the characters that we have right now, we have a brawler character. And classes don't always matter, but sometimes they do. So Hela is a controller type character. Why do I keep calling him zombie? Because Iron Man zombie is a brawler and Juggernaut is a protector. So that kind of leaves a support character or a blaster. And so honestly, I think that because Undying tends to be more damage heavy, I think we're probably going to be getting a blaster damage heavy character. I don't think they really need support, right? Because I'm pretty sure that just like Hela just does a lot of that already with the Gregs and the healing and all that when they die and the zombies die and fall and they come back anyways. You don't really need a healer. You just need like pure raw damage. And so that's why I think the next character to come is going to be a heavy hitter who again is going to need those stars, those yellow stars, who's going to need those red stars. And let's not forget that we're also in this new era of Marvel Strike Force where base stats are hugely up, right? So those stars are going to matter even more. Now, if I don't think it's Doctor Strange, I think there's only one character left, and that's going to be Scarlet Witch. So this is my 85-90%. Honestly, I think that we're going to be getting zombie Scarlet Witch. I've been hearing this for some time. This has been circulating for a while. You can actually like scroll back through some of my posts in Discord that I've been talking about it for months. Like I just had a feeling that this was going to happen. She also kind of, I think it's actually timely. That's terrible English. I think it's appropriate given the timing right now as well. Because we have, the Agatha All Along series. Now, I don't know if Scarlet Witch is going to show up in this at all. Don't know if there's like a zombie Scarlet Witch of any kind or not, but I feel like given that they have decided to use Agatha in the Night Stalkers team, that I think that there may be some connection to the TV show, or at least it's appropriately timed, and Scarlet Witch is still like is related to Agatha in this sense, and so I think it's a good time to consider releasing this character. So as far as the aesthetic, though, that they might go for zombie Scarlet Witch, I'm not sure. Maybe they'll just rip it directly off of. This is What If. I'm pretty sure What If season 2. There was that episode, I believe, towards the end, and also zombie Scarlet Witch. I think was in season 1. Yeah, right. That they fought Ultron, Infinity Ultron, and so this is the kind of this is what I think. This is honestly what I think is going to happen. I think that it's going to be a very damage heavy character in Scarlet Witch, and that is my predictions for what we're going to be getting next month. It is a bit of time out. I mean, so why am I talking about this now when we're about 6 weeks ahead? Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to build some hype again on Marvel Strike Force, but it's also I say that hesitantly, right? You could hear the hesitancy in my voice because we're in a time I think right now in Marvel Strike Force that we're in a rough patch, right? Like I'm not going to spend another couple minutes talking about the extent that this is a big problem, and maybe I will, but it's just there's been a lot of people that's been a bit unhappy with the current direction of the game, and I want to bring up the character spreadsheet again just so you guys are aware, because once we start talking about the time between releases and events and things like that, like with the current patch, basically from Annihilators onwards, right? From what we could expect from going from the offer release to when we actually got more shards. And now we know that it's going to be a drip drop. And why does this matter? I guess it depends on how they decide to release the zombie Scarlet Witch. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. And, I think, are they going to just do what... I don't think they're going to do what they did last year. I honestly don't, because what they did last year, just for those who aren't aware, there was a zombie Juggernaut event. It was like a event campaign that you would do some levels and then you would farm with energy. Yeah, but you got energy at an incredibly slow pace, and you could only farm like 5 levels. And there was a zombie Juggernaut orb. You open the orb and you got like a small amount of orbs, a small amount of shards. And realistically, you weren't going to get free to play a 3-star even. I'm pretty sure you didn't get a 3-star. Maybe you did, but at most it was 3-star. And so the things that I expect to change for this event would be that I don't think it's going to be an event campaign. If it is, it's going to be pay gated. I think that Zombie Scarlet Witch will be a 3-star unlock because I think that 2 stars are just dead now. I would be surprised if they did it even for this character. And if Zombie Scarlet Witch is a dark promotion credit character, then that becomes even more pay gated rates, right? So not only are you then buying RTA passes to get more dark promotion credits, or you're buying it directly, or whatever, however you get your dark promotion credits, then you need to buy the yellow stars for this character, and then we get into almost like a not quite a Captain Britain situation, but we have a character that you're then paying at least. I think in US dollars it's 50, right, for 100 shards. In Canada, it's like $80 or something crazy. So another reason why, if it's pay gated, I am not going to be going in on this character, even though I think that these characters could be very strong, especially in PvP sense, because we're in a new stat era as well. This could be a good thing or a bad thing, though, because since they're so reliant on their stars to get the stats, they may not be strong enough unless you're willing to put the big dollars into those characters. So that's something that I would caution people, not just for the zombie characters, but for a lot of the characters right now. It seems that, like, unless you can get them to 5-star, that they're not really realizing their base stats well enough, I think. That's just what I've heard from things like Orcus, from Annihilers, that things really start to bump up past 5 yellow stars. But anyways, what I would love to know is from you guys, have you invested in the Undying team to date? I think there's a lot of people who probably haven't, especially new and mid-game players, and even myself. I'm very limited on my Undying team. They do, I've seen some pretty big zombie juggernaut characters in Cosmic Crucible, and there's a good chance that this new character, Zombie Scarlet Witch, very well could be super powerful in other game modes beyond just the Undying team, which is a war offense team primarily, but it could just make them incredibly strong elsewhere. But at the end of the day, like, in the current climate that we are in Marvel Strike Force, though, it's gonna be like, if it's not completely pay gated, it's gonna be pay gated to the extent that you're gonna want to spend more money on them to get them with more stars, because then they're gonna be vaulted for 6 months to a year, just like we have with the other zombies, and just like we have right now with Captain Britain. They're probably gonna have an epic tag. I would be very shocked and amazed if they did not. So that's just my thoughts on that. But I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, because I haven't really spoke about Undying or zombies or anything like that for an incredibly long time. So I would be curious what the community thinks about the team, how it is related to the epic tag, and this sort of new period of kind of vaulting and also slow drip drop of character shards, whatever way they decide to do it. So that's just my thoughts and my predictions for the upcoming Undying character. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Otherwise, have a great rest of your Monday morning, or whenever you watch this on Monday, and we'll see what rolls out for the rest of the week in Marvel Strike Force, won't we? So that's it for now, and until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all later. Boilon signing out.